You've got a big decision to make, microservices or monolith for your new platform. So you do what we all do now, you ask an AI. 3 seconds later, you get a confident answer. Microservices. Scalability, team autonomy, here's your migration roadmap. And that answer might even be right. The problem is the confidence. Phrase the question slightly differently. Mention that you like monoliths, and you get the opposite answer. Just as polished. Nobody pushed back. Nobody asked the obvious question. How big is your team? Today I'll show you how to fix that. Don't ask one AI. Make several of them argue. Hi, I'm Max and I'm a software engineer at Aconsis. Today I'm going to introduce you to the group chat or debate pattern. A single LLM call is one model, one perspective, one path. 3 failure modes follow directly from that. 1. Agreement bias. Models are trained to be agreeable. If your prompt leaks a preference, the answer leans your way. 2. Single pass bias. Once the model commits to a direction in the first few tokens, everything after supports it. You can ask for pros and cons, but the framing was already settled. 3. Confident hallucination. Architecture decisions are exactly where models are weakest. Real trade-offs, missing context, no ground truth. Gaps get filled with plausible assumptions, and nothing flags them. And no, be critical in the system prompt doesn't fix this. That's like telling one employee to also represent the opposing view in their own proposal. You need structural separation, someone whose actual job is to disagree. The fix is called the group chat or debate pattern. Instead of one model answering, you run a structured conversation between multiple agents. Each plays a distinct role. They challenge and refine each other before converging on an answer. Usually that's the same model called several times with different system prompts. And before you object, yes, same weights. Is the disagreement real? More than you'd expect. A critic doesn't need independent knowledge. It needs a different objective. A system prompt provides exactly that. We'll get to the limits of this later, because they are real too. There's research behind this. Multi-agent debate immeasurably improves factuality and reasoning. Follow-up studies are more mixed, and the gains concentrate in reasoning-heavy tasks. Keep that in mind, it'll matter at the end. Every implementation has the same 4 building blocks. First, roles. An advocate who makes a case, a critic who attacks assumptions, a pragmatist who represents the team that has to build and run the thing. The roles only work if they conflict. 3 agents that all analyze helpfully, just 1 agent 3 times slower. Second, a shared message thread. Everyone reads and writes the same history. The critic sees exactly what the advocate claimed and can quote it. That's what makes it a debate, instead of a set of parallel monologues. Third, turn-taking. Simplest version, round robin. Smarter version, a moderator that picks the next speaker based on where the discussion is. And here's a nice bonus. The moderator can also call on a human. When the debate hits a question only your team can answer, it pauses, your answer goes into the thread, and the agents continue with real context instead of assumptions. Fourth, termination and synthesis. Debates need to end. Round limit, convergence, or a moderator calling it. Then, a judge reads the whole thread and writes the actual deliverable. Let's run our architecture question through it. Round 1. The advocate opens with the textbook case for microservices. Independent scaling, team autonomy, fault isolation. The same answer the single agent gave us, but now it's an opening claim, not a verdict. The critic responds to the actual text above it. You're assuming an org that can afford this. Nothing says team size. Under 20 engineers, the distributed system tax eats the autonomy gains, and data consistency ignored entirely. The pragmatist piles on with operational reality. Kubernetes experience, observability, CI/CD per service. If the team currently ships 1 Rails app, that's a year of platform work before the first feature. Round 2 is where it gets interesting. The advocate, cornered by specific objections, retreats to a stronger position. Start with a modular monolith, enforce boundaries in code. Extract a service only when a module proves it needs one. The critic probes a new position. The pragmatist answers with concrete mechanisms. Round 3. Nobody has anything new. The moderator calls it and the judge writes the synthesis. Modular monolith, with the explicit triggers for extracting services later. Confidence, medium. Because team size and ops maturity were never specified. Those unknowns become open questions for the humans. And notice that final answer never appeared in the single agent response. It emerged from the collision. The debate even surfaced its own uncertainty. A single confident answer can't do that. One honesty note: this is a cleaned up good run. Real transcripts are messier. This arc is what you tune your prompts toward. Quick aside, the panel you just watched is one of 3 common shapes. There's a structured debate, exactly 2 sides trading rebuttals, good for genuinely binary questions, and there's the judge-only variant. Several agents answer independently, no shared thread. A judge picks or merges the best. Cheaper in parallel, but you lose the rebuttals. The article goes deeper on when each fits. Today, we stick with the panel. You might assume this needs a framework. It doesn't. Here's the entire skeleton. Addictive personas, a loop where each agent sees the full thread and appends to it, and one judge call at the end. That's the whole pattern. A production version adds a convergence check, length caps, retries, and everything frameworks like AutoGen, LangGraph, or CrewAI add on top, typed schemas, smarter speaker selection, streaming, is refinement on this same skeleton. Build the loop once yourself and the frameworks stop being magic. So when does this earn its cost? 4 triggers. The question is a genuine trade-off. The cost of being wrong is high. The domain invites confident hallucination, or you need the reasoning and the open questions more than the verdict itself. And when should you skip it? Latency-sensitive paths, obviously. A multi-round debate is a dozen sequential LLM calls, because that's literally what it is. Simple factual queries gain nothing. And watch the cost curve. Every turn rereads a thread that every previous turn made longer. That grows closer to quadratically than linearly. Fine for 10 architecture decisions a week. Ruinous for 1 million support tickets a day. One more pitfall, and it's the big one. Echo chambers. Same base model, same blind spots. If the model believes something wrong, the advocate asserts it and the critic lets it stand. Role prompts catch unsupported reasoning. They cannot conjure knowledge the model lacks. Mitigations, in increasing order of effectiveness, make the critic concretely adversarial. Use a different model family for the critic and ground the debate in retrieved documents so evidence settles disagreements instead of whoever sounds most confident. The group chat pattern is one of the few multi-agent ideas that earns its complexity, because it attacks specific failure modes with structure instead of prompt-level wishful thinking. But it's a tool with a narrow sweet spot. Most LLM calls in a real product are simple, latency-bound, and fine with one model. Save the debate for the questions where you'd also want more than one human in the room. For those, stop asking one AI. Let them argue.